Good evening, listeners. This is Elijah broadcasting on 103.9 The Turkey. Today, we bring you a special breaking news episode concerning a tragic event that has sent shockwaves through the healthcare industry and beyond. Earlier this morning, Brian Thompson, the CEO of UnitedHealthcare, was fatally shot outside the Hilton Midtown Hotel in Manhattan. According to the Times, the incident occurred around 6:45 a.m. when a masked gunman approached Thompson, firing multiple shots before fleeing the scene on foot and later on a city e-bike. The New York Police Department has described the attack as a brazen, targeted act, indicating that the assailant had been waiting for Thompson outside the hotel for several minutes prior to the shooting. NYPD Commissioner Jessica Tisch stated, "This does not appear to be a random act of violence." Thompson, 50, was in New York to attend an investors conference hosted by UnitedHealthcare. He was rushed to Mount Sinai West Hospital, where he was pronounced dead shortly after arrival. In the aftermath of the shooting, Thompson's wife, Paulette, revealed that he had received prior to the incident, possibly related to issues concerning healthcare coverage. She mentioned, "I just know that he said there were some people that had been threatening him." The suspect is described as a light-skinned male, approximately 6 feet tall, wearing a cream-colored jacket, black face mask, and carrying a gray backpack. Surveillance footage captured the suspect entering a nearby Starbucks before the shooting and later fleeing towards Central Park on an e-bike. The NYPD has launched an extensive manhunt, employing various resources, and is offering a $10,000 reward for information leading to the arrest of the perpetrator. United Health Group has expressed profound sadness over Thompson's death, stating, "Brian was a highly respected colleague and friend to all who worked with him. Our hearts go out to Brian's family and all who were close to him." I've been with United Health Group since 2004 and was appointed CEO of UnitedHealthcare in 2021. His leadership was instrumental in steering the company through various challenges, including a significant cyber attack earlier this year that affected millions of Americans' data. As this is an ongoing investigation, we will continue to provide updates as more information becomes available. Our thoughts are with Brian Thompson's family, friends, and colleagues during this difficult time. Stay tuned as we delve deeper into the implications of this tragic event. Welcome back to 103.9 The Turkey. Joining us now is Pierce, a corporate Democrat and someone who's no stranger to understanding the intersections of politics, business, and public relations. Pierce, I want to dive straight into it. The assassination of Brian Thompson has stunned the nation. What are your thoughts on this tragedy?
Elijah, first of all, this is an appalling act of violence, and my heart goes out to Brian Thompson's family and colleagues. No matter what disagreements people may have with corporate policies or healthcare decisions, violence is never the answer. This was a heinous crime, and it undermines the principles of justice and dialogue.
Undoubtedly, but this incident raises a lot of questions about the current climate. From the threats Thompson allegedly received to broader frustrations with the healthcare system, what does this say about where we are as a society?
It speaks to the growing polarization and resentment we're seeing across the board. Healthcare is one of the most emotionally charged issues in the country. United Health is at the center of debates about affordability and access. While we can't speculate on motives yet, this tragedy is a grim reminder that unresolved societal tensions can lead to devastating outcomes.
So looking forward, what do you think this means for the healthcare industry, and how do you expect corporations and policymakers to respond?
I think companies like United Health will reevaluate their security measures and public relations strategies. But more than that, this could be a turning point in the conversation about corporate responsibility. It's time for these organizations to not just look at profits, but at how their actions affect millions of Americans. Politicians on both sides will likely use this incident to amplify their narratives. Some calling for stricter regulations, others emphasizing personal responsibility. We need balanced, thoughtful responses to prevent this kind of tragedy from repeating.
Do you see this impacting corporate leaders and their approach to public engagement?
Absolutely. This will make CEOs more cautious, perhaps less willing to be the public face of their companies. That's dangerous because it reduces accountability and transparency. Leaders need to engage, but they also need protection in today's hostile climate. Companies must be proactive in addressing grievances before they escalate. This isn't just about healthcare, it's about how we handle societal divides.
Well said, Pierce. This is a pivotal moment, and it's clear that the repercussions of this event will ripple across industries and public policy. Thank you for sharing your insights.
Thank you, Elijah. Let's hope we can find a path forward that fosters unity and understanding.
Stay with us, listeners. When we return, I'll share some closing words on how we can stand against the forces of division and violence. This is 103.9 The Turkey, and we'll be right back. Welcome back to 103.9 The Turkey. As we close out this special breaking news episode, I want to take a moment to reflect on what this tragedy means, not just for the healthcare industry or corporate America, but for all of us as a society. Brian Thompson's life was taken in an act of violence that can only be described as senseless and evil. Whether this was driven by personal grievance, societal frustration, or something yet unknown, we must agree on one thing: violence is never the answer. It destroys lives, deepens divisions, and pushes us further away from the solutions we so desperately need. This moment calls for unity, not just among the corporate elite or policymakers, but among everyday Americans. We may come from different walks of life, hold different political beliefs, or have different ideas about how to solve our nation's challenges. But at our core, we all want the same things: safety, fairness, and a future for our families. To those who feel unheard or powerless, I urge you to channel your frustrations into constructive action. Engage in dialogue. Vote for leaders who reflect your values. Advocate for change. But never let anger or desperation lead you down a path of destruction. We can't build a better future if we're tearing each other apart. And to the forces of division, those who thrive on stoking fear, resentment, and chaos, I say this: you will not win. You will not define who we are as a people. We are stronger than our differences, braver than our fears, and more resilient than you give us credit for. Today, let's commit to being better to each other, better to ourselves, and better stewards of the country we all share. Let's honor Brian Thompson's memory by working toward a society where tragedies like this are unimaginable, not inevitable. Thank you for tuning in to this special episode of I-Ctrl+Elites on 103.9 The Turkey. Remember, I control you and I control elites. Good night.